Are wet dreams normal? What would be a good beginner vibrator? Craziest place I've done it is Hey everyone, it's Chammies, and today I'm going to be answering your questions on sex and puberty. So before we get into it, please make sure to like the video as well as subscribe so you could see more videos on sex, relationships, dating, and self-love. If you think of a question that wasn't answered in today's video, please leave a comment below and I'll definitely be doing another Q&A in the future, so I would love to read it and answer your question then. Alright, let's get started. The first question we have is, my 13-year-old friend has masturbated and hasn't had her first period yet. Her body has developed, but when will she finish developing? So what I found after doing some research is that it's actually totally normal to masturbate before you get your first period. Your body actually starts going through puberty before you start your period. So contrary to what a lot of people believe is that, oh, once I start my period, now I've started the puberty process. It's actually before that, before you get to your period, that you start the puberty process and you'll start getting like body hair, you'll start forming breasts, your body will start changing, and then at some point you will get your period. So it is totally normal, rest assured, for your friend to have her period after she started masturbating. I personally got my period and started masturbating when I was 10 years old, so I don't remember which one came first. It was quite a while ago, but totally normal either way. And some people masturbate after their period and some people don't ever masturbate. Totally fine. And in terms of when your body is finished developing, it actually very much depends. A lot of my friends I saw had pretty much fully developed bodies by the time we got to high school, and then they didn't grow much taller or anything after that, whereas some people didn't fully develop their bodies until maybe like 18, 19. So it totally depends. And then in terms of your brain, I've heard things and scientists say that it doesn't fully develop until at least like, 24 or something. So it varies for different people, so don't feel behind or too forward or whatever. It's perfectly normal for your body to just grow at the pace that it's going. Alright, the next question I have is, are wet dreams normal? So just to clarify, first of all, wet dreams, when you have a dream and you feel very horny in the dream, and then when you wake up, you might have wetness down there on your underwear because you were really horny in the dream. And then for males, sometimes they come, and so that's why it's wet. And then for females, it might just be wet from your juices, or maybe you came as well. And so there's also wet stuff down there when you wake up. Hence the term wet dream. So yes, wet dreams, totally normal. Honestly don't remember when I got my first wet dream. I know that I definitely had them in high school. Like I remember having a dream and then feeling like I came, and then I woke up and I was like, wow, it's almost as if I had sex and I feel great this morning. So I was feeling good. I liked having them. Though sometimes I had them about weird people that I never even saw like that ever. They just showed in my dream. Sometimes it was celebrities, so it's a wild time in there, but they are totally normal to have. Another question is, somebody asks, hey, my girlfriend is thinking about getting a vibrator because she hasn't touched herself too much. What would be a good beginner vibrator for her? So my advice for this is I would definitely start out with something cheap. First of all, don't spend too much money on like a $200 vibrator if you don't even know if you like using one or something. So my first one was like a $14 one from Spencer's. I highly recommend just getting one of those like silicone ones that's like maybe this big and doesn't look too fancy or anything, doesn't look like a realistic dick or anything. It's just a normal plastic vibrator. You can also get something like a bullet, so that's like a little bullet and it's just solely for putting on your clitoris. Very good for just masturbating, seeing if you like the toy. I also don't think they're too expensive, like $10 to $15 they should be. Like they can range up to $200, but again, I don't recommend upgrading to those until you know for sure that you even like using toys. Now, fun fact, you can get vibrators at Target. This person asked, where was the most exciting places where you had sex? Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. All right, here we go. The most exciting, interesting place that I did it, that I did not expect to do it was 4th of July. And we had just driven to his condo from like some 4th of July event. And then I was getting out of the car. I got out of the car and then we started making out. And he turned me around and bent me over. So like the car door, the driver's seat was open and I was leaning on the driver's seat and he just started doing it right there. So I was not expecting that. It was like a wild time. So that is definitely like the wildest place that I have done it. I would say besides that, I also did it like in this room in my library at college. We had these like media rooms with computers, and again, there wasn't anyone there. Anyone could walk in, but the door was closed, and so I did give some head there in the media room in our school library. So that was pretty wild. I've also done it just in a classroom at night when nobody was there. So this is definitely the wildest places that I've done anything. So I would love to hear the wildest places that you all have done it. And then somebody else asked, where was the craziest place that you've masturbated? Ew. Well, the craziest place I've done it is, again, I was at college in my dorm room, and then not in the dorm room, that's not the wildest place, but it was like fall break or something, so not a lot of people were around, and like my roommate was in the room, and like I hate kicking my roommates out to do stuff like this because I'm like, this is just weird. Like I've never kicked someone out so I could like have sex with my boyfriend. I just feel bad about doing it because it's both our rooms. So I was really thirsty one time, and I was just in the dorm room with her, and I was like, oh, hold on, I gotta like go to the bathroom. So like I actually ended up going not to the bathroom, but I went to the common areas, you know, in the dorms where they have a place where everyone can go and sit down, eat. There's a little kitchen and a couch, and so luckily nobody was there, and I just closed the door of the common room, and I went and laid down on the couch, and then I just like, you know, watched what I need to watch on my phone, and then I just used my finger and boom, boom, boom. So that's definitely the wildest place. I do prefer, obviously, to do it in my bedroom, but sometimes you do what you gotta do. On that similar note, someone asked, have you ever been caught masturbating? If yes, who caught you? Luckily, I would like to say I've never ever been caught masturbating. I would say it is easier because usually I'm like under my covers for safety reasons in case anyone just walks in. It doesn't look sus. You can obviously instantly stop and just say, hey, what's up? I mean, it's a little awkward if you have the vibrator sound going on, but you can tell that was my phone or something. But I feel like the closest thing is like I was doing my thing, and then like one of my family members was like, hey, they didn't really like give me much warning, just open the door, and I was like, oh, but luckily, as I said, I was under the covers, so it was just like, oh, hey, what's up? So nothing too sus. And I think one time I did have a close call in the dorm room because I thought my roommate's schedule was a little different than it was. I was doing my thing, and then like I heard the door open, but luckily like I heard her trying to unlock it first, so I quickly just, you know, I was like, look normal, and quickly like hid all the evidence. So no, I have not yet, but I have been close. And another question is, I get a thrill when I touch myself at another place that's not my room. Do you feel the same? I would say yes, I get like a little bit of a thrill. Like it is interesting to switch it up. I found that I've done it in a couple different places, and so I haven't really gotten like the thrill. Like it's exciting, yes, because it's new and interesting, but not exciting like, yeah, I'm gonna do it here all the time. Just because like I get really nervous that someone's gonna find out that like, oh, I'm doing it in the car of a parking lot, or I'm doing it like, oh, I'm gonna class it. Like it just like, while it's fun, like maybe once or twice just experience, I feel more stress, which then takes away from being turned on. So it is kind of thrilling. I totally get the appeal, but would not want to do it often because I just like the comfort of my bed. But totally normal for other people to want to do it elsewhere. That's totally fine, totally understand, you know, do you. I would say it is exciting to do it in a new place. Like if it's a hotel bedroom or Airbnb bedroom or something, that's cool. I just really like bedrooms. Here, somebody wrote, I grew up in an extremely conservative religious environment. They took gender segregation to the max, so I apologize if any of these questions seem too basic, but I figured it never hurts to try. I do understand that women differ from one another, as well as throughout the month it may vary. So the first question is, do women crave as intensely and viscerally to look at and touch the male body? In the same manner, we may hunger for the female body. On that note, they say, is there anything that to men does not seem to trigger sexual motivation, but for women it does? Like compliments, attention, and tenderness. Women and men and people of all genders are all differently attracted to different things, so it just depends like on the individual that you're talking to. So there's no one answer to that. I guess the short answer is yes. Women are attracted to body parts just as well as men are attracted to body parts of all genders. So it really just depends. And in terms of what triggers them in terms of sexuality, yeah, some people like me, you know, we may really like arms, or someone that plays sports is cool, or someone that's an activist is attracted to me, whereas some people might be like, oh, I really like people's face, or I really like that somebody gave me a compliment. It's really about like the 5 love languages, which I highly recommend you take a quiz for that so you can tell other people what your love language is. Some people love affection, some people love words, some people love physical touch, some people love acts of service. So there are lots of different things that we can be attracted to, and lots of different things that we think are hot or might instantly turn us on or something. So it really just depends on the individual. But in general, yes, women are of course attracted to bodies, and vice versa. Men are also attracted to other things besides body parts. It just depends on the person. Oh, okay, this is like a multiple choice question. They said, for women, the primary motivation for sexual contact is born out of A, emotional intimacy and mental connection, B, curiosity, adventure, and pleasure, C, desire for satiation or orgasm. And my answer is it could be all of the above, and again, it just depends on the person. Like some people only want to have sex with someone that they know and want to be like a long-term partner with. Some people want to have sex just to cue. Some people want to have sex just because they're bored and they're kind of curious. So really it just depends. It can be a combination of 2 or 3 of those. It can be one of them, be none of them. Some people don't like having sex at all. So really it just depends on the individual. It doesn't relate to gender at all. It's like any person of any gender could have sex for a very number of reasons. So you really just gotta ask the individual person. All right, so that marks the end of the questions for today. Thank you all so much for writing in your questions. I love reading them and being able to help you all. Hopefully this video has been helpful in giving you all some more insight. But if you have any more questions, again, please just leave them below and I would love to answer them. I hope you all have a good one and I'll see you next time. Bye.